The benefit of education may be viewed in two ways. The first, as we mentioned in our speech, is in lifting the standards of the nation. Secondly, in the shaping and development of one's character, which might reflect in the direction of both good and evil. It should be your will and desire to eschew evil and always pursue the good. For as disease could be contagious from father to son through our blood, in the same way the character of the present generation could be contagious to the succeeding ones. It is with this in mind that you should view your opportunity for education, which is as enduring as life itself. There is nothing that tends more readily to induce in our heart feelings of joy and solace than to see the youth of our land growing up and maturing through education, in whatever sphere it may be. Although knowledge to be drawn from the fountainhead of education not only contributes to the well-being of mankind and to the performance of humanitarian needs, but is also a veritable pillar upholding the liberty of the land. It is by the strength of the knowledge and gained from education that man develops his ideas and brings his labors to success. In this irresistible march of events, this age of science, which appears to be only the beginning of things yet to come, Ethiopia cannot afford to be left alone or lag behind. If she does lag behind, it will certainly be to her detriment. In this scientific age in which we live, when the results of progress, whether harmful or beneficial, extended in their effects to the whole of mankind, we have to think in a broad and far-sighted terms. We would have you add to the love of country, love of knowledge and science, for only thus you partake of the spirit of the modern age and save your country in the fruitful and fitting manner. Consequently, the extensive development of education should rank high in the list of your objectives. We have repeatedly stated in our public utterance that knowledge is a power and unity is a strength. If we had not developed education in our people, to whom could we have expressed this wish? Praise be to him who has enabled us to express it to the present as the future generation. In this modern day, when material goals and selfish aims dominate the scene of human effort, this high professional idea of self-sacrifice and selfless devotion to one's fellow man may appear too remote, its demands to serve bar. But man is not meant to live for himself alone, he exists with others and for others. And it is this sense of social consciousness which distinguishes him from all other beings. And this goal can and will be attained by those who realize the tremendous potential of spiritual strength and their stay in striving ceaselessly for the attainment of this high objective. It is for this reason that we have never failed to stress our people the need and the value of education. The truly educated man is endowed with a sense of obligation to society. The potentialities of education are unlimited. The acquisition of knowledge and skill class for patient learning and hard work, but without education, a man is nothing. A promise unfulfilled, a potential unrealized. In the hands of those whose minds are not guided by the basic concern for humanity, however, education can become a dangerous and destructive weapon. A teacher must not pursue the fleeting pleasures of this moment. His teaching must be designed to develop boys and girls into loyal citizens who will respect and cherish their own tradition and culture. Learning without moral education is fruitless, and students must be taught that the true measure of value is not material advantage. In acquiring modern education, the student is not to neglect his own tradition and culture, but must, to the contrary, respect and preserve all that is good in the Ethiopian way of life. This is high standard which all teachers must establish and maintain for themselves, and by which they will be an example for their students. If there is a failure here, there will come a time when the emptiness of his efforts will be revealed. And for engineers, although the first institution where Men received formal training in engineering was established only a little over 200 years ago. The science of engineering is one of the world's oldest. The existence from ancient times of marvels of construction, among which Ethiopia proudly numbers the monuments at Aksum, the remarkable rock churches and other engineering wonders, attest to the long history of profession. Even in our day, engineers are seen constantly adopting and adapting to their current needs, the techniques developed in those remote times, thus fusing the ancient and the modern, the old and the new. Your success in your profession will not adapt on your position of an engineering degree. It is rather to be judged by the service you render in the future and by the tangible results of your labor. Having passed the academic tests posed by this college, you now move on to face the more arduous test posed by life. And the only way to face the tests successfully is to be spiritually prepared for them. Throughout your life, your mettle will be tested by the work you do, and your reputation will depend on the outcome of this test. If you whose minds have been matured by education and to whom torch of knowledge has been handed, fail to make a significant contribution to the welfare of your country, your responsibility shall be great indeed. And for those artists, a purely materialistic art would be like a tree which is expected to bear fruit without flowering and to sacrifice grace and beauty for mere utility. Those who learn here should, from the beginning, seriously avoid this spirit of utilitarianism. Our admiration for the Creator handwork should not be limited to those things which He has provided us with for our daily needs, but it should include all that is good and beautiful. It is this tender feeling of deep and silent admiration evoked from our hearts by the beauties of creation that should find adequate expression in the fine arts. And those for military students, our fathers, benefiting from the wisdom which Almighty God revealed to them in their time, fought with valor and heroism to preserve the freedom of our country. To complement the valor and heroism which our armed forces have inherited from them, qualities which no amount of military training can provide, there must now be provided mastery of the complex techniques of modern warfare. Strength may be useless where skill is required. A mature mind and wells of experience are needed to decide upon the time and place where the strength and skill may be most effectively combined in the battle. Today, while man still remains incapable of controlling his insatiable lust for power and wealth, and persists in using force as means for satisfying his desires, his ability to wreak destruction on his fellow men is steadily increasing. Technology and science have produced in abundance the weapons whereby human life can be wiped off the face of the earth. If those who would trust the world into the holocaust of war are to be deterred from aggressive action, it can only be by the threat of counter-blow posed to strike should the need arise. We have considered in our duty, therefore, to train our armed forces in the modern techniques of defense, so that our people might be spared from the ravages of the most terrible of plagues. It is for these reasons that we have caused this military academy to be established and have come here today to inaugurate this institution. If in defending free Ethiopia and her freeborn children from the detestable yoke of slavery, you learn to combine the spirit of heroism which you have inherited from your forefathers with the technical skills which you will acquire at this academy. The faith and trust which we and our people have reposed in you will be fully justified, and you will moreover be able to be of help to our brethren, both far and near. The mastery of modern techniques and methods of warfare calls for unremitting study, constancy of purpose, and intellectual attainment of the highest order. Modern military science in this nuclear age is a perpetual spring, and the officers who graduate from this academy must continue their pursuits of military knowledge long after they have taken their place in the field. Humanity has long dreamed of and anxiously waited for the day when the world would be rid of a plague of war. However, when an aggressor driven by insatiable appetites and voracious desires sets out to violate the freedom of neighboring land and enslave its people, the latter must inevitably seek to repel the invader with all the heroism and bravery at their disposal. If the invader would only refrain from aggression and seek to resolve by peaceful means whatever quarrels and misunderstandings that exist, surely both sides would be prepared to make their share of the sacrifice necessary to achieve a peaceful settlement. We ourselves in our lifetime have labored unceasingly for the creation of the condition essential prerequisite to the establishment of an enduring peace. We take great pleasure in the knowledge that our country, Ethiopia, has become a symbol of hope and freedom to our brethren in all the African countries. Today, when the itch of war is spreading like an epidemic over the world and the threat of armed conflict with all the evil that this portends for men everywhere hangs heavy over the earth, casting its dark shadow on humanity, men of honor, wherever they may be, must be vigilant in defense of their freedom, so that they may be spared suffering and humiliation. We ourselves, if we fail to make adequate preparation for defense, we will be held to have failed both in our responsibility to ourselves and in our duty to aid in the preservation of world peace. The pages of our country history shine with the deeds of soldiers who, in the spirit of heroism inherited from their forefathers, fought in just cause and for the preservation of peace, as well as of those soldiers, statesmen who in time of peace labored for the preservation of humanity's great ideals and values. It is the example of such men that you who study here should emulate. Your duty is to study their history and to record it for the benefit of future generations. Thank you for listening. If you like my Haile Selassie serial speech, please subscribe my channel and give me a comment.